All of us are on a journey, and sometimes we get stuck in life, and that might lead to a breakdown. A breakdown is usually about a loss of some kind. And if you slow down and learn from your breakdown, you will have a breakthrough. Pay attention to the pain and the lessons. I decided to create Women Empowering Women due to my own breakdown and breakthrough in 2012. In these episodes, women will share their personal stories, how they went from a breakdown to a breakthrough, and what they learned in the process. I hope you will tune in every Friday on NewYouTV, and I hope these stories will inspire you. Trish Buscemi was born and raised in Orange County, California. She had one sister, and she grew up surfing and learning to oil paint and see colors from a different perspective from her grandmother, who was an oil paint artist. Trish married and had 2 sons. Trish has lived in various states like California, Oklahoma, Louisiana, and she came to Texas in 1981. In 2009, her sister also moved to Texas, and they started a company called Two Sisters Painting. On March 14, 2013, Trish was in a horrific motorcycle accident in Willis, Texas. She was riding and her boyfriend was driving the motorcycle. Her boyfriend died in the accident, and he left Trish in a coma for 3 weeks. 3 days after the accident, her sister committed suicide. This is Trish's story. Welcome everybody. Today I'm going to talk to my good friend Trish here. And as we heard in the intro, she had quite an accident in 2013, correct? That's where he was?
Yeah,
March of 2013. Do you want to share with us a little bit what was going on that day? What time of the day did the accident happen?
Well, what I've been told, I think it was around 6 o'clock in the evening.
Okay.
And what I've been told, and kind of what I could piece together, because I can't remember exactly.
And why is that you can't remember?
I have no idea. I think brain injuries, a lot of times you can't remember really how you got the brain injury and what happened to you. But what I do know is that we were finally, the 50 Shades of Grey of March turned into sunshine, and we decided to ride our motorcycle. And
it was you and your boyfriend?
My boyfriend, who was also the foreman of my painting company. And so we had been painting all day at home and decided that after work we would go on the motorcycle. And we were out in the countryside, not on the freeway or anything. And
this was in Willis.
This was in Willis.
North of Houston.
Yeah. And we were on our way back to our apartment, and a boy, poor thing, he was only 21 years old, turned out to go on the main road where we were coming up on, and actually we crashed right into him. And my boyfriend died right on his car, and I don't know if I was thrown or dragged quite a few feet. And and then the other thing was, a lot of people saw it, but one lady came over to help my boyfriend and already knew that he was dead, and then went over to me and held my hand until the paramedics came.
It was a good Samaritan, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, she was very sweet. I actually met her a year after. She finally found me on Facebook, and we met for lunch. And honestly, to be honest, it was more helpful for her to meet me than for me to meet her. I mean, I loved her to death for just doing that. It's funny, she says, you know what I remember about you the most, besides you bleeding and whatnot, is that you had small hands.
Oh.
At least something was small. But anyway, so that was good to meet her, because she could remember the whole thing.
Oh, okay.
I couldn't.
Okay, so your boyfriend, he was killed instantly in the wreck.
Yes.
And you ended up in the hospital you were in a coma for 3 weeks.
Well, I was brought by ambulance to one hospital in the Woodlands, and then they assessed me and sent me to another hospital in the Woodlands, and then I think I ended up somewhere in the middle of Houston, but I can't remember what hospital, obviously. And I ended up being in I had a brain injury. You know, I had a brain, what do you call it? A trauma in my brain.
Hemorrhaging? No? Brain hemorrhaging?
No. Oh, can't think of it. See, this is what happens to me when I...
That's okay. Hey, that's okay.
I can't remember stuff.
We all have memory loss. I call them Alzheimer's moments.
Well, you know, so really I had bleeding on the brain.
Okay, yeah.
And then I had gone right into a coma and stayed that way for 3 weeks. And I had the bleeding on the brain, a broken neck, 3 broken ribs, a broken sternum, a ripped spleen, a crushed lung, 2 broken arms, 2 broken legs. Oh, and my rotator cuff on my right side was ripped in 2 places. And a bone spur. I hit the ground so hard the bone spur came off the bone and was in the muscle. So,
it's amazing that you're sitting here with me today.
They really,
after listening to this, you're a miracle that you are in one piece after going
all
through
of that,
yeah,
right?
and all that.
Yeah.
Wow, that's truly amazing that you have recuperated, Trish. I mean, and you look great too, but I can just imagine.
Thank you.
So let's go back then. So 3 weeks in a coma, and then how long did you have to stay in the hospital?
3 months.
3 months?
Yeah.
Of rehab?
And I honestly don't remember. I had already gone to 2 to 3 hospitals before I ended up in a brain injury hospital. And even then, it's like I could talk to people, or I could say something, I could be agitated, be your typical patient, but I didn't really know where I was or what was going on, or even what I might have said to somebody. I was really out of it, and then they kept me subdued. And I forgot I did get 16 stitches in my eyebrow.
Oh, yeah, let's don't forget the stitches on top of everything else.
It was fabulous. I was really glad I never rode a motorcycle like a hoochie mama. And I'm really glad I didn't. Because, because I had clothes on, I didn't scrape up my body.
Oh,
they cut the clothes off. Yeah. I guess that's a good thing.
Well, okay, so you were going through rehab, and of course, yeah, you're dealing with memory loss and all kinds of things. And then let's go back, because I know they said in the intro too, you had one sister, and 3 days after your accident, she committed suicide.
Yeah.
Oh, of course, you were in a coma at the time, so, and wasn't aware of it. What was going on there?
Well, even when I woke up from the coma and got adjusted into the brain hospital, they finally told me that my boyfriend died and that my sister committed suicide. And I could repeat that back to you, but I really didn't have any emotions attached to it. I didn't really understand even what I was saying. I was more like a parrot. I could talk about it, but I didn't know what I was really talking about. And then when the other thing that was difficult was I missed everybody's funeral. And really funerals are for the living, and it gives you closure, and that was very difficult. And with my sister, I think the reason she killed herself really was because, I was 56 years old when this happened, and she was 53 and single, and really struggled a lot to make ends meet, to make her rent, to keep jobs. And, with me, it was the real deal. And then...
And she was part of the company.
Right.
Colors Matter. That's what the name of the company...
Well, we started it as Two Sisters Painting, because I wanted people to know that it was women painting for women, and that,
Yeah, you started in 2009. She came from California to Texas here to join you. And then you changed the name.
And then I changed the name because people struggled so much with the colors that they wanted, that I thought Colors Matter sounded a little bit better, because I was doing the color consulting, and then her and I would also do the painting.
So you worked together then closely.
Yeah.
So she felt like when you were no longer available to work?
Yeah. I honestly think a lot of it was they prepared everybody in my family that I was going to die. And in her suicide note, she had talked about going to heaven first so that she could welcome me into heaven. She should have known I was too mean and nasty to die, but she just didn't.
There you go. Now we know. Trish is real mean and nasty. That's probably why you made it.
Yeah, probably.
Because it was like, yeah.
So,
Yeah, so on top of, losing your husband in the crash, and
My
then of course, I'm sorry, your boyfriend, boyfriend. And then of course, after all the injuries and trying to heal, and then you find out that your sister committed suicide. That's a lot to take in. That is a lot to take in.
It is quite a bit to take in, and it's a little hard to heal. I've got at one point I have a cast and a leg brace and an arm brace and a neck brace. And I had to take a shower even with the neck brace on.
So when you were in the hospital, what was going on your mind? I mean, what was going through your mind is like, what were you thinking about? How am I going to deal with this? I mean, what made you fight and come back? Like you obviously have, because look at you today.
Yeah.
So
the first thing that goes through your mind is I got to get out of here. Anybody that's had any kind of hospital stay is over the food and they wake you up every 5 minutes to give you something to take or whatever. And I just thought, I have got to get out of here. And so that's when I started right then was you have to do physical therapy and different kinds of therapy. And so I would do everything. They would ask me every day what time it was and what day it was. And I would make sure
check on your memory.
I was on that, because I knew that was my ticket out of the hospital. So that was my first thought was just how do I get out of here? I hadn't really given much thought other than I missed my home. And I missed having kind of a regular life. And
so they just kept you going in your mindset and working the physical therapy. So after 3 months, you were released out of the hospital then?
Yes, I was released.
And you went home? Or
I went home. And,
how was your body at that time? Just listening to all your injuries, how did you manage?
I went home in a wheelchair with a cast on my arm, a brace on this arm, and a brace on one of my feet. And I've got a place that Home Instead actually came and helped me out and, got me a shower and that kind of thing, a hospital bed. And, I still needed a lot of help. You sometimes you can't wait to leave the hospital, but it's amazing how much you rely on
those people.
So.
But you did leave, and so did you continue? Did you have to go in for physical therapy?
Yes, I did. I had to go in 3 times a week, and and then I had a doctor appointment after doctor appointment because I had to make sure that my neck was just right in order to take the neck brace off, and then we had to fix different things. I had on my rotator cuff I had surgery. But that was 8 months later, so
you've had
by July, actually, it took me 2 hours, and I had to take a nap afterwards to get dressed. I mean, I could get my hair done, and my makeup was on, and I didn't have any of my braces and stuff on, but I had to sleep. I couldn't do anything. It took so long to get that done. But that was a victory, really.
And that's just, 4 months after the accident?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you were walking and you can get out and...
I could walk and my
that's
physical
amazing.
therapy was doing a lot better. That was very helpful. I didn't really want to do that at first, but that ended up being very, very helpful.
So you'd just been working on, and how about did you go see a therapist or a psychologist or anything like that?
Well, when enough people just begged me to do it, I don't know how many doctors was telling me that I needed to go get some help, and friends and family. Of course, you never listen to them, but the doctors.
What do they know, right?
Yeah, what do they? They always
they
thought
don't
I
know.
was crazy.
They don't know. I know how I feel. I'm okay.
Exactly. Nothing's new. Trish is Trish, but I really didn't want to do that, and it
But
wasn't.
you agreed finally to do
I
that?
did agree to do that,
Because
and
they felt like you needed it?
yeah, and I'm glad I did it because I didn't want to do it because everybody has death and everybody has grief and everybody has to deal with it. And people have accidents every day, and I'm not a quadriplegic, and I still can walk around, and I still can run my company. And so I thought, just grow up and get over it. I didn't used to use PMS as an excuse either. I thought that was ridiculous, and so I was still in that
You're a
mindset.
tough girl, right?
I am. I'm too mean and nasty to die. Remember, I told you all that. So, but it's still, I'm glad I did that, and
Well, that probably
actually,
saved you from, being, mean and nasty or whatever.
worse.
It just kind of, that's that inner strength that come out. Yeah, you might sound like you're mean and nasty. I'm sure you weren't, but it's just that inner strength that comes out of you because that pulls you forward.
Well,
Moves you
right,
forward.
and what helped me was that I realized that I needed a little bit of help in that the psychologist helps me understand if I'm on the right track or am I making up excuses. I mean, she's very honest with me, and that's what you need. It's been 2 years.
Yeah,
Last Saturday, and I just saw her
last Saturday
Friday.
is 2 years. Wow.
Yeah, I just saw her last Friday.
Amazing.
Because I just need to know, am I on the right track or am I,
Yeah, you need someone to mirror back to you
it's
and
nice
spin
because
with
it
you.
helped me understand that what I'm going through is major. Maybe people do it all the time because we hear it on the news all the time, but this is me, and I'm dealing with me and what's going on with me, and it really helped to know. Or then there's other times where you just have a pity party and somebody has to tell you, are you going to live in your pity party? And
sometimes,
so it was
yeah,
nice.
it's okay to have one here and there as long as you don't stay in it for weeks.
It was helpful because she still
Once in a while, I
has to
think
tell
we
me.
all need to have one and boo-hoo over it and
Well,
eat
yeah, I
some
still
junk
do
food
that.
and,
Yeah.
and then it's
Ice
over
cream-
with.
Ice cream's still my friend.
Hey, that's my friend too. Chocolate's my friend.
Oh, that too.
Chocolate ice cream. There we go.
That goes without saying.
I know. But Trish, then, so 2 years, wow. I'm still just amazed looking at you. I just think it's fantastic to see you just look like this. And how have you changed in 2 years? As the person, like, because I know through my own journey and my breakdown, I call this a breakdown too. It's like that person that I was before, she kind of died when you go through the trauma and your journey back and whatever it is, your breakdown, the different things. For you, it was an accident. For me, it was abuse. And I just feel like that old person, yeah, I look the same, just a little older. But I know, but I just don't feel the same. It's like that person died, and it's not that it's bad. It's just that I'm different. How do you feel about you? Are you different, or
Definitely.
is things definitely?
Definitely.
What is different with you than before the accident?
Well, before the accident, I was more like the Energizer Bunny, in that not just physically but mentally with my company. I could do so much. I could work all day, half the night, and I would wake up the next morning with, let's do it again. And I really liked it. And now I've learned that I have to take a little bit more time, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally. And, I had this joke, and it's really not a joke. I mean, at some point you have to have some kind of sense of humor, because if you don't, if it doesn't kill you say it makes you stronger. Well, really, it gives you more of a sense of humor, because I would...
It helps to have a sense of humor, doesn't it?
Well, you kind of have to, because I would joke, and still joke, that, Trish died, really and truly. The smart-ass Trish came back, and the weird sense of humor Trish came back, but really and truly, I'm holding that other girl's clothes. It's like I'm not, I'm so not really that Trish. And what I've had to learn is that I have to, and then you hear the whole thing where you have to make a new you. Well, doesn't that sound like you want bigger these, or you want,
Whoa!
skinnier waist, or you want something that you can't have, and that's the new you. And really, one of the differences is crazy. My favorite color was pink, and now it's purple. But other than that, I found that I can take time now. I take a lot more time. Not in a, oh, feeble me, I can't get out of bed. It's just that I understand that life is precious.
Well, and you say that, I think we all need to take a step back. We need to live more in the moment, and I think we're rushing from one thing to the other, and we don't have time for each other. We connecting electronically, but we're so disconnected, and we just are losing. Well, we just, like I say, just running around like chicken with our head cut off, you know. But I know you told me that you also meditate and you do things, I guess, self-care. I would say.
Yeah, I was always used to, before the accident, I lost 60 pounds. I was a diabetic. I was on insulin and 5 oral medications, and I got off all of that for 4 years, lost 60 pounds, rode my bike 20 miles a day after I painted your 4-bedroom house. And I was doing really, really well.
Energizer Bunny!
Yeah, the crazy lady. And then when I came out of the hospital, and even to this day, I've had to pick up meditation.
That's a good thing, though.
There's I meditate. Meditations out there. It takes you a while to find the style that might suit you, but and I needed the breathing exercises to just. I suffered from depression and anxiety, and I figured out that what an anxiety attack is, because I didn't recognize it at first. I just didn't know. I just figured I was agitated like always. And really, they were really...
That's that mean streak coming out.
Yeah, that mean streak. And so I thought, well, okay, I've got to do something. And at night, I found that I would be so tired, and I couldn't go to sleep. And so the meditation and the deep breathing exercises kind of helped me be able to relax. And it also helped me to sort of embrace my new life that's a little bit... I want to say slower, but honestly, I think the word's more peaceful.
I think that sounds like something we all need to do. I mean, I think what you've done, I've done a lot of that myself too. After what happened to me, it's just I picked up meditation, learned how to breathe, and just be more, in the moment and slow down and just take your time, because it's not worth it to run around like crazy. It just isn't.
Well, the other Trish, when I decided that I needed to do something like that, or was I going to meditate? Are you kidding me? And deep breathe, maybe on my bike. But really, what I did is I went and got a trainer and would go to the gym 6 days a week and work out with the trainer twice a week and still do my bike. So that was my answer back then, and now that's...
You just kind of
I would love to kind of get a little bit close to that, but that's really and truly, I found that I drink juices and smoothies, and kale is a fun thing to eat. And things like that, because every little bit helps. It's not like you can do it perfectly.
No,
you can't do it every day.
Little baby steps.
But it's just something, I've had to learn different coping skills, actually, is what it comes down to.
Sounds like you're doing just great. So let me ask you, so where are you with your company today? Colors Matter is the name of your what do you call it, painting business or interior decorating?
Actually, it's color consulting.
Okay.
Is what I really, prefer to do. And then I'll still come and paint your house.
Is that what you do now?
Yeah.
So you're capable of up and down ladders? And
I am. I do have a couple of painters that paint with me now, which is nice because, I don't have my sister and I don't have my boyfriend. So, and they're great. And what I like about that is that, can I scale a 20-foot ladder? Yes. Is my balance as good as it used to be? No. Do I really want to do that at 59 years old? So I do use the painters a lot more, but I can still do it, and I do on occasion. We'll go in and not paint the 20-foot ceiling, but I'll paint, just a regular room or whatever. And I enjoy that. I still enjoy that very much.
And you got that passion from your grandmother, right?
I did. I did. She taught me how to paint a sky, and we never used the color blue ever. And what was really nice is that you know, with your brain injury, you get a lot of different things that aren't quite the same. Maybe it doesn't come back. It's a little different. And the color consulting part of me is the gift that I have with color totally came back. I mean, it's there and it's working, and I work it and my company works it, and so, and now I'd like to get back to the brain injury community because colors do matter.
Yes.
Retail works on us every day with that.
And restaurants.
Restaurants, you name it.
Everybody does it. But this has been a very empowering story, Trish. Thank you for sharing it so much. Thank you for sharing it with us. And I just got one last question for you.
Okay.
Have you been back on a motorcycle since your accident?
Ooh, yes, I have.
You have?
I have. And you know,
Wow.
I went on, I think November of 2013. My accident was in March.
So that's like
And
6,
by
7
November,
months. Yeah.
I got back on it. And you know, part of me wanted to get on it to see if, well, first of all, I love riding on the back of the motorcycle. And I can't remember my accident, so it's not near as scary for me.
Okay,
And
that helps.
Yeah,
Yeah, but just knowing about it, though. Just knowing about it. I just, after hearing your story, it's like, I am never, ever going to get on a bike. Not that I've been on one, but it's like, that's like never.
Well, you know, I was trying to think, I was trying to see if maybe something would jog my memory.
Yes.
Or, you know, and the poor man riding me around was kind of worried that I was going to have a panic attack. Not an anxiety attack, a complete meltdown. But I didn't.
You did.
And I was really more mad at him for making me wear a helmet. That was the stupidest thing in the whole wide world, I will admit it. But I didn't want to wear a helmet because I didn't want to live through the next accident if I had one.
Well, I wouldn't get on
Which
a
is truly
motorcycle,
just-
period, helmet or not.
Yeah, so either way,
I
that's
know.
kind of stupid.
Well, so you've been back on the motorcycle.
But yeah.
Okay.
I loved it.
Okay, so there's no problem there. You'll get on a
I'm
motorcycle
still
again.
crazy.
I guess that's that mean streak in you. Well, thank you so much for sharing with us and the viewers about your story about your accident, and that you can survive, of course, and you can make it back just as long as you mean and all that. You can make it. I mean, you're
You
living
can be
proof.
nicer than me.
And yours accident was only two years ago, so you've done a fabulous recovery. So
Well, thank you.
thank you so much, Trish. And the name of your company is again?
Colors matter.
Colors Matter.
And I'd like to add a little something is that if you're out there and you have struggled with a brain injury, it could be as little as a concussion. You know, give yourself a little time and, you know, try some different little coping skills, even if you have to just hide it and learn it on your own. And you'll be okay. Give yourself a little peaceful time and a little bit of deep breathing. And
There you go. A little bit of deep breathing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Trish.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Appreciate it.